Hi there everyone, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to this 1500 point match play game between the forces of the Tyranid Hive Fleet and the Leagues of Votann. We continue on the channel to introduce ourselves to 10th edition, so slowly getting myself up to larger and larger points for each of the games here, and trying to go through each of the armies that I own on the channel in relatively quick succession. So it is the Tyranids and the Votann's turn. And with the Tyranids, I know a lot of people were previewing them and Space Marines first, so trying to take some stuff that was not included in the starter box so that all you folks can see the wide range of niddly good stuff. So, for the mission today, it is actually a match play mission that I have kind of come up with myself, since I'm still waiting on my order of the Leviathan box set and the match play card set that comes within it to get to me. So it is going to be a 5 objective mission, 4 of them in each of the table quarters, and then 1 in the center of the battlefield. And we're going to get 5 points each starting in the second battle round for holding 1, holding 2, and holding more than our opponent. So pretty standard primary stuff if folks are familiar with the primaries from 9th edition games, and we're not going to worry about secondaries at all. So it's just going to be about trying to punch each other out and take models off stable and hold these 5 objectives. So that is the mission. The terrain comes from Titan's terrain. So all the ruins are going to act as ruins. Then their footprint is going to be defined as seen on the cardboard tiles. So for example, all of this Hearthstone squad's in the ruin here. And then the footprint of this ruin here expands a little bit beyond where this little U-shaped ruin is. So that's the mission and terrain. So now let's take a look at the armies. Representing the Tyranids, we have this 1500 point list. Just going to go through kind of left to right as you see it in the Nid's table quarter. So we start right on over here with a 10-man squad of Gene Sealers with an attached Broodlord to secure this flank. And then next to them is the 20-man squad of Hormagaunts to race up and start claiming that no man's land objective. The Warlord for today is going to be my Winged Hive Tyrant with the Lash Whip Bone Sword and the Adrenal Gland. So I'm going to do everything is what you see is what you get on the models for today. Next up, holding the Nid's home objective is going to be my Exocrine. And then next to him, racing towards the middle, will be my Haruspex. Then the final of the big bad bugs is going to be my Tyrannifex with a Rupture Cannon, supported by a 20-man squad of Gaunts with a 3-man Zoanthrope unit behind. Starting the game in Deep Strike, I also have a 3-base squad of Ripper Swarms, so trying to disrupt objective holding for the Votann, as well as a second squad of 10 Gene Sealers to pop up later on in the game. Facing off against them is the Leagues of Votann. So over here on this corner, we have a 10-man squad of warriors with a Metapack, Scanner, and Comms Relay on some of the regular dwarves. We also have the Las Fusillade and the Plasma Gun. Can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but the Plasma Gun is going to be one of my 2 heavy weapons here. That squad has the not the bolt rifles, the other ones that I'm forgetting off of the top of my head. So they're the ones who do not have bolt rifles here. They also have the Grimnir attached to their squad to provide some psychic support and some extra toughness thanks to their psychic abilities. We have a squad of 5 Chthonian Berserkers with the plasma axes, a single mole grenade launcher, and a single double fist dwarf. Then we have a 3-man squad of Pioneers with a searchlight, Vox antenna, and the rail cannon up on top. Then in the center, we have a 10-man squad of Warriors with bolt rifles, or not bolt rifles, but the bolt guns, with a Magna rail cannon and L7 missile launcher for their heavy weapons, as well as the usual Vox antenna, metapack, and scanner. Bringing up this side of the battlefield, we have our warlord, the Khal, with bolt gun and plasma axe attached to a second squad with the... that's going to bother me. What are those guns called? Those are, if I flip through my little things, ion blasters, so the ion guns. This one also has a L7 missile launcher and Magna rail rifle in them. Then up here we have a single Sagittar with the missile launcher on top. This is going to be holding another identical 5-man squad of Chthonian Berserkers. And then we have an identical squad of Pioneers over here, save this has the rotary cannon instead of the beam weapon. Then finally, for the Votann starting on the table, we have 3 the not Roke here, the Thunderkin here holding the home objective. And then finally, starting in Deep Strike, are 5 Einherjar with the Einherjar champion. They have the plasma guns and fists on the regular squad, and then the heavy hammer on the Einherjar champion today. So those are the armies for today. Let's take a look at the mission. And by take a look at the mission, I mean start the mission with the roll-off for first turn. So green die is going to be the Votann, red die is going to be the Tyranids. High roller goes first, start us off. And that's going to be a tie with a pair of 5s. And now it will be the Tyranids turn 1 as we begin this game. Starting off the battle, we've got a couple of abilities to resolve at the very beginning. For the Tyranids, I have picked Swarming Insects as my hyper adaptation. So that is their ability to get sustained hits 1 versus infantry and swarms. So all the infantry that the Votann have will get exploding critical hits to hit them. On the Votann side, we also are able to start one of the enemy units off with a pair of judgment tokens on them. So I have chosen the Winged Hive Tyrant to receive those 2 tokens. And then the sooner I can kill that Hive Tyrant in the game, the more command points I am going to gain. So if I can kill it either in the first or second turn, it'll be 3, then 2 CP, then 1 CP if I kill him near the end of the battle. So those are all my start of the game abilities. So now we'll go through the rest of the command and come back to you after movement is done. After the swarms of bugs have moved on out, here's what we are looking at. So the name of the game is basically advance out to claim as much of the board as possible. So the Hormagaunts have advanced forward, so they are going to use their ability to advance and charge to their advantage to try to start taking down these bikers, who are going to spend the 1 CP for the Leagues of Votann to fire Overwatch at the end of the movement phase. We've also advanced the Winged Hive Tyrant and the Gene Stealers and Broodlord over here into this corner. The Swarm Lord, or not the Swarm Lord, the Hive Tyrant staying a little bit further back than he could, just to make sure that I don't kill him in the first turn with the Votann. Then over here in the center, the Harspecs also advanced up. So try to overwhelm the board with threats early on for the Tyranids, while the Tyrannifex has simply moved forward and is aiming down sights to hopefully kill the one vehicle that the Votann have in their arsenal. Over here, the Termagants did advance. These folks, or these bugs up here, aren't actually on the top floor. Just put them there for ease of access for myself, so you can imagine that they're in the walls of this ruined building. And then right behind them are the brain bugs leading the synapse on that side of the battlefield. So, as I said, I am going to fire Overwatch with this squad of the Pioneers into the Hormagaunts. So let us do that. We are going to get started with the Magna Coil autocannons. So 3 attacks each on 6s. Just the 1 6. And then strength 7, toughness 3. For a 1 to wound, unfortunately, there. We also have 2 shotgun attacks each. Again, on 6s. Just the 1 shotgun on a 3 again. Nope. And then finally, we have the Ion Beamer. So, 3 attacks on 6s. And we are a whiff there. So 1 CP spent for absolutely nothing. Moving on to the shooting phase, just about the only major shooting of import is the Tyrannifex. And its Rupture Cannon is going to go into the Sagittar, while the Stinger Salvos are going to go into these Pioneers. Now, I did move them since I saw that they had the Scout ability on their data sheet card, and I did not do that in the first, or before the first turn began. So just trying to learn the game, so trying to make sure that I remember everything. So doing the rule should hopefully remind me that that is something that those models can do. Didn't do it with these Pioneers over here, since they would have already been affected by how I played with the Termagants, or not the Termagants, the Hormagaunts. So we'll let that one go. But we're going to start off with the Rupture Cannon. So 2 shots on 3s, a 6 and a 2. Let's see, 9 wounds, so it's 2d6. I will think or you know, no, I'm not going to reroll that, since I want to make sure that I get my charge off with the Hormagaunts. So 1 hit, strength 18 versus toughness 10 on a Sagittar, so it's still a 3 to wound. 1 wound at -4 AP. No ability to ignore damage with an invuln or anything, so I'll go straight on through to 2d6 damage. So if I roll hot, I could get it. Ooh, and with an 8, that is not going to do it. I would love to re-roll that too, but I would have to do the whole thing. So 8 damage done, bringing the Sagittar down to a single wound remaining. And since it's a small vehicle, it doesn't even bracket, so 1 wound, same thing as 9 wounds for it. So that is the Tyrannifex's big gun. Now 8 shots from the Stinger Salvos, as I try to fumble with them one-handed, on 3s. And those 6s will give me sustained, or no, they will not give me sustained hits, since the Pioneers are not infantry or swarm. Those 6s will not explode. They're about one of the few things that won't get that ability. So 5 hits on strength 5 into toughness 6. So 5s to wound. Just the 2 at no AP. And that will be a pass and a fail. So that'll be 1 damage going on to one of the Pioneers, bringing him down to 2. So that is going to do it for the shooting phase. Remembering to do the scout moves, I did move the Sagittar and the Pioneers just out of range of the Flesh Borers from the Termagants. So they're not going to be able to do anything there. So all we have left to do is a charge from the Hormagaunts into the Pioneers. So 20 Hormagaunts into 3 Pioneers. That is a 2 and a 1, so a 3-inch charge is not going to do it. 1 CP spent for the bugs on an 11. That will most definitely make it in. After the charge, 14 out of the 20 of them were able to make it into either base contact or base to base with another model in the unit that was with them. So this is going to be 3 attacks each. So 42 attacks in total. Will it be enough? So hitting on 4s and 6s. Oh, again, they are bikers, so 6s will not explode. So 4s hit. And then strength 3 versus toughness 6. So 6s to wound. We have just 2 wounds at -1 AP, so 5 up armor saves will fail both of those. So 14 Hormagaunts don't even kill 1 biker. Oof. On the swing back, 2 attacks each for the Pioneers. We are going to be hitting on 4s. And then strength 4, so wounding on 3s. Just the 2 at no AP, so 5 up saves. So each side does exactly 2 damage to one another. 2 damage on a Pioneer and 2 Hormagaunts taken off the board for that close combat. And that will also do it for the turn for the bugs. So starting to chip away, doing some damage to both squads of Pioneers, almost killing the Sagittar in 1 shot, and making a couple of threats rear their ugly heads sooner rather than later. We are looking at pretty good board control, so let's see how the Votann can respond in their first turn. So here we are after movement for the Leagues of Votann in turn 1, and our plan is fold out as best as we can and take the center and side objectives. So over here, the Chthonian Berserkers that were in the Sagittar disembarked for their transport moved. So they are going to need an 8-inch charge to get into that Tyrannifex, but I think that is possible. They're also going to be followed up and helped by the Pioneers over here and the squad of Ion Blaster wielding warriors, as well as the 1 wound Sagittar. This squad of warriors have simply moved up towards the middle, and the Pioneers here have fallen back towards the center objective. The Khal used his ability to give a single judgment token to the Haruspex here. My thoughts are, if I can take the Haruspex out, I can get pretty good control of the center. And then the Tyranids are going to have to dedicate something towards the center to try to dislodge me from that objective. I've also moved in a way to threaten these Hormagaunts with a charge as well as a fair bit of shooting from the Grimnir and the Hearthkin warriors back here. The Thunderkin on the home objective are most likely just going to stay here and act as a deterrent from Deep Strikers arriving anywhere near the backfield objective, since if I use Overwatch on them, they hit on 5+, and I've got some pretty potent guns in that squad. So with that, we are done with movements. Now we will go on to the shooting phase. I'm going to start off with the Sagittar. Everything that it's got is going to go into the Tyrannifex. So this is equipped with the L7 and Sagittarius Missile Launcher. We're going to start off with 2 shots from the Sagittarius Missile Launcher, hitting on 4s, and then a Strength 12 shot versus Toughness 12 will wound on a 4. And that's not going to do it, unfortunately. We're also going to go with the L7 Missile Launcher. So 1 shot on a 4. Makes it. And then Strength 9, Toughness 12 will not wound as well. So now we just have the Twin Bolt Cannon left. So 3 attacks on this. On 4s. And then Strength 6, Toughness 12. Get to reroll wounds since it is twin linked. So that is nothing. So the Sagittar will not do anything for shooting there. Next up will be this squad of Pioneers. Everything that they've got is going to go into the Termagants in this building. Just try to get them a little bit lowered, try to work on the monsters and the infantry with the Hylath rotary cannon first. So 6s to hit, or not 6s to hit, 6s will explode thanks to sustained hits 1, and then ballistic skill 4 will give me a total of 4 hits. Strength 6, toughness 3, so 2s to wound. Will fail twice. -1 AP will essentially undo the cover bonus that these folks have, so 2 5-up saves. Make 1 and fail 1. Adding into this the Magna Coil autocannons on 4s. Just 3 hits, unfortunately. And then 2s to wound as well. 2 wounds at -1 AP goes to no AP thanks to cover. So this will be a 5-up save. Fail 2 of those, so 2 more down. And then finally, the shotguns are not in range. That will be a total of 3 Termagants gone from 3 Pioneers. Next up for shooting is going to be the Mole Grenade Launcher into the same squad of Gaunts. So this is D6. So that is going to be 5 shots. It's also a blast. I've lost 3 of their number, so I have 17. So that is going to be a total of 8 shots from the grenade launcher. Not suffering the penalty of indirect fire. So 4s to hit. We'll have 2 of them hit. Strength 5, wounding on 3s. Just the 1 wound. Again, -1 AP will keep me on my 5-up save. And they'll kill 1 more. And now we get to do the special subterranean explosives of the Molten Grenade Launcher. So on a 4-up, it is shaken. So while they are shaken, the Termagants, they are going to be -2 to move and -2 from advance and charge rolls. And that will also give me the ability to put a little Mole Grenade Launcher token right next to the Gaunts as I pull 1 away. Next up, I'm going to go with this squad of Ion Blaster wielding warriors. Everything that they've got is going to go into the Tyrannifex. So, since the Khal is leading them, they are going to have the Lethal Hits ability, so 6s to hit will automatically wound. And since I have the Pan-Spectral Scanner, I also have Ignores Cover, so I think the Tyrannifex would be getting the benefits of cover, but not against this squad. So, 7 shots from my Ion Blasters. Just 1 hit, and then Strength 5 into Toughness 12, so 6 to wound. Not going to do anything there. Then the heavy weaponry, we'll start off with the L7 Missile Launcher with his focused attack on a 4. Nope. And then the Magna Rail Rifle will hit on a 5 since it's heavy, or no, not since it's heavy, but since that's just what it hits on. So that will be a complete whiff in shooting from them. Then, hopefully, to do a little bit better, is going to be the bolt gun, or yeah, the Autok pattern bolter squad. Everything that they've got is going to go into the Haruspex. Try to focus down him, since the other flank of dwarves were not able to do anything to the Tyranid effects. Want to try to start fiddling down some of the monsters. After all was said and done, we have 1 wound going through from the bolters. So 1 3-up save for the Haruspex. And of course it is the humble bolter that's taking the first bite out of a monster. So that'll be 1 wound off of him, taking him down to a low 13 wounds remaining. I'm also going to, at this point, spend 1 CP for the Votann. Again, this is a little bit out of order, but trying to learn the armies and try to learn 2 armies at once while playing myself and record myself, not always the best. So I'm going to do 1 CP. I should have done this at the end of when I fell back with the Pioneers, but ordered retreat allows me to shoot and declare charge with that unit. So probably not going to declare charge into a Haruspex, but that'll give me the Pioneer squad right here to shoot into the Haruspex. And I have +1 to hit from the Judgment token, so the autocannon shots hitting on 3s. Very, very nice. Picked up 3 more hits because of the Judgment token. T11 versus Strength 7, so 5s to wound. Very, very good right there. -1 AP will bring him up to a 4-up save. Make 2 of them, fail 2 of them. That'll be 4 damage taken onto the Haruspex. Chipping him down to 9. Then the shotguns on 3s. Full house of hits there for the shotguns. And then, whoop, as I drop the die, get up from under there. 6s. Just the 1, actually, for a 3-up save. And another wound on the Haruspex. Definitely not regretting taking the CP to allow these guys to fire. Now the Ion Beamer, so hitting on 3s. So that'll be 1 miss, 1 hit, and then sustained hits D3. So that will get me 3 extra hits. So 3 shots, 5 hits. You'll love to see it. Strength 7 again on 5s. No such luck on the wounds, but taking him down, 5 wounds with a biker or a Pioneer squad. Not too shabby there. Next up, we'll do the second squad of Chthonian Berserkers. This time shooting into Hormagaunts instead of Tormagaunts. Rolled the number of shots for the grenade launcher off camera. Rolled a 1. That's going to be a total of 4 shots from Blast on 3s to wound. Just the 1, and then a 6-up save will allow us to kill a single Hormagaunt off of the squad. And then on a 4-up, they are suppressed as well. And to finally round us off for shooting, we're going to go with this final squad of warriors. Their ion guns are going to go into the Hormagaunts, and then the heavy weaponry and the psychic attack from the Grimnir are all going to go into the Haruspex here in the middle. So we're going to start off with 4s to hit from the ion blasters and the ion pistol. So just 4 hits here. Strength 5, toughness 3, so 3 is the wound. And minus 2 AP. We'll take 2 of them off the board. Now, this is the squad with a Laz. So this is the High Laz auto rifle. This is not going to be in rapid fire, unfortunately. Yeah, they don't have the rotary cannon. Yep, they do have the auto rifle. So 3 attacks on 3s. Strength 6, toughness 11, so 5s. Nothing from that. And then the plasma beamer will be 1 attack on a 3. Strength 8 on a 5. Nothing there. And then finally, for my last shots, I will go with the Witchfire from the Grimnir, Ancestral Wrath. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to risk it. So I'm going to use the hazardous profile, which doubles the number of shots that I get. So 6 attacks on 2s. And then strength 6, toughness 11, 5s to wound. Ooh, just the 1 at minus 2. So 5 up save. Not going to make it for D3 damage. 1 damage onto the Haruspex. And then my hazardous test for the Grimnir is going to do 3 damage to me. Ooh, not great. In the charge phase, I have gone ahead and charged in with the squad of Berserkers and this squad with Warriors, with the Grimnir attached, to charge in and try to take out these Hormagaunts. Then the other squad of Chthonian Berserkers will try to go into the Tyranifex. Needing an 8, I was going to save the CP to reroll this charge, but the fallback and shoot was effective from the Pioneers, and it doesn't even look like I needed the reroll, so that will get the Berserkers in with the Tyranifex. So, with a pile-in and a mighty hurrah, the Chthonian Berserkers move to destroy the Tyranifex. I'm going to say that this guy's in base to base, but the big gun from the Bubba Bug is inhibiting me from actually getting there. So we're going to go with the strikes with the heavy plasma axe first. So 3 attacks each, hitting on 3s. Big chunk right there of misses. That is just over half, so 7 hits. Strength 6, toughness 12, so 6s to wound still. And not a single 6 there. So we'll have to hope for the twin concussion gauntlets to do it. Now we're going to go with 4s to hit with 4 attacks. Ooh, wow. That is quite impressive. 4 6s. And, yep, so no need to get anything from the 6s. So strength 9, 5s to wound, re-rolling because of twin linked. 2 6s so far. Just the 2 6s, actually. Whoop, as I completely move the tile. And the gauntlets are minus 1 AP, so 3 up saves. Ooh, alright. Not great there, but 2 damage a time, so 4 damage off of his 16. Brings the Tyranifex down to 12. And over on this side of the battlefield, we're going to hope to try to do the same thing here, but the plasma axes are going to sweep instead of strike. We're going to have 6 attacks each for the 4 that have the axes. Again on 3s. And 3s again to wound. And finally 6s to save for the Hormagaunts. So not a single 6 to be seen. So 3, 5, 10, 15 of the Hormagaunts slain. And that killed the Hormagaunt to the man, or to the bug rather. So that is another squad, or that is a squad wiped off the field. The warriors don't have anything to do, can't consolidate or pile into anywhere. So now we just have the Tyranid fighting back into these berserkers. So from his powerful limbs, we are going to have 4 attacks hitting on 3s. Strength 8, toughness 5, so 3s to wound. And treble 1s will not do too much there. And looking at the abilities of the Tyranid, it does have Resilient Organism, which is -1 damage. So that will give him 2 more wounds back that he should have not taken to begin with. So while that is definitely going to be a stalemate, looks like that is going to be a slugfest for the time being. That's also the end of turn 1 and battle round 1. So we've removed a full unit of Hormagaunts and are starting to pick apart the squads of the Tyranids, but now we will continue to see that they will move on in and try to advance upon us. So now we go into Tyranids, turn 2. Top of turn 2 with the Tyranids. We scored 10 points on the mission for holding 2 of the 5 objectives and tying the dwarves on our objective control. We have not unleashed the shadow in the warp, however, we have moved forward and are trying to get as good board control as possible so that we can continue to threaten all of them. So slowly, these Tyranids and Zoanthropes are advancing on this flank, while the Turbogon is tied up in combat with the Berserkers over here. Hardspecs didn't really need to move, plus I can't really move regardless, because otherwise I'd end up on the objective. The Gene Sealer and Attached Broodlord are making their way to potentially charge, and if not, they have a secure hold on this no man's land objective, while the Winged Hive Tyrant has come on out to try to set up shop and tear down a unit of the Votann. While in the back lines, I was just barely able to squeeze in the 3-man Ripper squad to hopefully charge into the Thunderkin, get them down to OC0, and negate some of their points, and just be a general nuisance for the next turn or 2 with the Rippers. With that, we are done with the movement phase, so now we will go on to shooting. I am going to start off with the Tyranid, firing everything that he's got into the Berserkers that are in melee with him. So, -1 to hit, but I will still be getting, hopefully, 1 or 2 of them killed and not in melee, so they can't try to regenerate, or not regenerate, but not go down in melee. So, the Rupture Cannon, 2 shots on 4s. And of course, double 1s there. So how about the 8 shots from the Stinger salvos? Again on 4s. Not great there. Strength 5, toughness 5, 4s to wound. 3 wounds at no AP. So a 6 up armor save. And then a 5 up feel no pain. We'll take 3 of them, or not 3 of them down, but 3 wounds down. So I'll just take 1 of those and then bring another one down to a single wound. In terms of the termagant shooting, not much else that they are really going to accomplish this turn. They are going to try to at least finish off that berserker with 1 wound remaining. So this will be 15 shots from their flesh borers, hitting on 5s. But because of my ability, I will get to turn 2 of those into hits with exploding 6s, thanks to sustained hits with the, what's that called? It's not synapse, it is hyperadaptation. So, plenty of shots there. And then strength 5, toughness 5, so 4s to wound. Will do pretty good, all things considered. So that'll be a total of 6. 6 up armor saves. No saves there. And then feel no pain 5 up. Ooh, only shrugs 1. That'll kill 1 of them. Kill 2, kill 3 of them, so only leaving 1 of them left alive. Next up in this little batch of Gribblies, we have the 3 Zoanthropes. As I was moving them, again, they are on the bottom floor of this ruin, but just so I don't have to reach around and try to fish them out of this box, put them up on top. So these 3 are going to go in and fire their focused witchfire into the Sagittar, trying to take this thing down before it gets a second round of shooting, since it's only left on 1 wound. So, these are 1 attack each, hitting on 3s. Lethal hits, so a 6 will automatically wound. And then strength 12, toughness 10, 3s to wound. So that will be 2 of them at -3 AP. So 6s to save for the Sagittar. Make 1, fail 1. Don't really think that's a good reason to spend my 1 CP hoping for a 6. So that will be the Sagittar destroyed, getting the Zoanthropes a token of being +1 to hit. And then Deadly Demise for the Sagittar on a 6. Close but no cigar, that's a 5. That is the Sagittar removed. Finally, for the shooting phase, we have the Exocrine, who is going to shoot all the way across the table into the squad of Pioneers. So his bioplasmic cannon is going to be D6 plus 3 shots for a total of 5. Hitting on 3s. Strength 8, toughness 6, so 3s to wound. Makes 4 of them. And then -3 AP goes straight on through their 4 up armor. And that's 3 damage a time. So that is the squad of Pioneers wrapped up nice and tight. So that is going to take us to the charge phase. We're going to start off with the obvious one, the Haruspex into these Pioneers. Hey, look at that, he gets it. So I'm just going to swoop him in to butt up against this lone Pioneer. Then we are going to go with the Gene Stealers and the Attached Broodlord into the squad right here of Berserkers on a 6. I'll have to check to see if that makes it. So 2 and a 4. That, in fact, does make it in. So they will, if I can stop moving the table and the board, they will make it in. So I think they have that squad in hand. So now the Winged Hive Tyrant will just move on to this squad of warriors. And with a 9, he will make it in with ease. We're going to start off the fight phase with the Gene Stealers. So I was able to get 6 of them into combat with the Berserkers. So that is going to be a total of 24 attacks with devastating wounds thanks to the Broodlord. And I'm re-rolling wounds of 1. So, choose to hit. Taking out those 1s. Putting in 1, 2 because of sustained hit 1 thanks to the mission tactic essentially that I got for the meds. So 23 hits out of 24 attacks. If I can pick the damn dice up. Don't tell the Emperor I said that. And then strength 4, toughness 5. So 5, re-rolling 1s, looking for 6s. Re-rolling my 1s to wound. So I will take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mortal wounds, and then do a total of 5 AP minus 2 attacks. That'll take it right to their feel no pain of 5 up. They feel a lot of pain, so that's going to be 4 more damage right there. That's going to be 4, 6, 8, 10 damage. So that will kill the squad. So that will be a 4-up for each of these guys to fight on death. So only 2 of them fight on death, unfortunately. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Yes, I remembered about the Ripper Swarms, rolled off camera with their charge. They got an 11, so they are going to be over there annoying the Thunderkin in melee. Getting back to the Berserkers, 2 of them died. I will attack with the sweep from their plasma axes. So I wonder if this allows... Let's see, so just reading the Cyber Stim's ability for the Chthonian Berserkers, I believe that because the attacking model unit has finished making their attacks, and they killed the unit, I get the benefit of the token for killing me. So kind of a weird interaction there. I'm better because you killed me. It is looking like it's going to be a bit pear-shaped for the Votann, so I'll take it. So this is going to be 12 attacks on 2s. So only missing once. Strength 4, toughness 4, so wounding on 4s. So 5 wounds at AP minus 1 against their 5-up invulnerable save. Will kill 5 of the... Or nope, not kill 5 of the Gene Stealers. Gene Stealers have 2 wounds. Interesting. That'll be 2.5 Gene Stealers dead. Next up, not particularly doing these in any order, just going with what I have next is the Haruspex. He is going to go into the Pioneers now. So 14 attacks from his Ravenous Maw on 3s. Ooh, wow, that is not good. Wow, 10 misses out of 14 attacks. That is something else. Strength 7, toughness 6, so 3s to wound at least. 3 wounds at -1. We'll bring them up to a 5-up save. And fail 3 of those. So first one will kill the biker on 1 wound. Then this will kill a second biker. Then finally, my extra attacks from the Shoveling Claws. 4 attacks on 3s. Strength 14, so 2s to wound. Not much there, but -2, so need a 6-up save here. That is the opposite of what I needed. Don't think I'm going to spend a CP reroll hoping for a 6. So d6 plus 1, so hoping for anything but a 1 here. And of course it is a 1. So that is not the unit weight. However, that is going to trigger the Grizzly Spectacle. So every enemy unit within 6 of them, just the Pioneers, have to take a Battle Shock test. So he is going to be Battle Shocked, unsurprisingly. Next up with the big fight, we're going to have the Winged Hive Tyrant do everything into the squad of Hearthkin right in front of him. I'm also going to use his Paroxysm Psychic ability. So should have been at the start of the fight phase, but no real reason not to do it right now. We'll roll a d6. And on a 2-up, I will subtract 1 from the attacks characteristic of weapons equipped by the models in the squad that he is attacking. So now that he's hopefully a little bit safer, 6 attacks from the Monstrous Bone Sword and Lash Whip. So 2 1s, but a 6 will get me a sustained hit. Strength 9, toughness 6, because I have the Grimnir attached. So that's still going to be 3 wound. 4 wounds at -2 AP. 6-up armor saves. Not going to make those. So that is going to be 3 damage a time. So because of the meta pack, I have Feel No Pain of 6-up. So we are going to go with 6-up. Kills 1. 6-up. Almost wanted to. Kills another. 6-up. Kills another. And then 6-up kills another. So 4 of them are dead from the Monstrous Bone Sword. And then the Monstrous Scything Talons with my extra attack. 4 attacks. Miss once. Hit 3 times. Strength 7, toughness 6. Just 1 wound. Then a 6-up. Not gonna make it there. And then a 6-up Feel No Pain will fail as well. So that will be 5 of the warriors taken down. So at the end of the fight phase, did the rest of the Tessels off camera. Somehow the Thunderkin and the Rippers were able to do 1 damage to one another in their little brawl. So that quagmire of close combat is either going to continue happening, or they're going to have to fall back and try to get some help to clear off the home objective. Didn't choose to pile in with this squad of warriors, just because I figure the Hive Tyrant is not going to go down to 5 warriors and a Grimnir at this point. So with that, we will be moving on through the end of the turn. I was about to do morale, but morale is at the beginning of the next turn. So now we will move on to Leagues of Votann, turn 2. So here we are in turn 2 with the Leagues of Votann. It is going to be a score of 0 on the mission, since we held this with OC0 models. Neither of us actually had that objective. We were beaten by the Haruspecs with the lone remaining biker over here in the center. And then the 3 other corner objective markers were either not claimed by anyone or under the control of the Tyranids. So in the command phase, what the Khal did is he doubled up and put a second marker onto the Haruspecs, really trying to get him off the board, trying to focus down some of the monsters. we moved forward a little bit with this squad of warriors, and this biker has moved forward to start going into this corner of the board to claim it for the Leagues of Votann. However, that is going to actually trigger the overwatch from this exocrine. Thought is, if I can get this one biker down, this corner of the battlefield will hopefully be mine. That is despite the 6 iron here that just dropped down in front of the exocrine. So hopefully they will fail their charge or not be able to kill me in close combat. So I will be able to continue holding my own home objective with the bugs. Speaking of home objectives, this squad has moved backwards to deal with the Rippers, and the Thunderkin have fallen back to allow the warriors to deal with said Rippers. So we are consolidating, basically kind of abandoning this corner of the field, allowing the Tyranids to have that for this turn, while we continue to push, try to hold the center, and try to kill a couple of the big bugs. So, like I said in my last summary, the exocrine has overwatched onto the single pioneer to again try to kill him so that I don't have one wound biker moving around and claiming an objective, because it is an objective mission. So it's going to be d6 plus 3 shots. Oof, still the 4 shots. And that's not going to do it. So 1 CP down the drain for nothing to speak of. We're going to start off the proper shooting phase for the Votann here in the center. The squad with the bolters is going to split fire. Their heavy weapons are going to try to take down the Haruspecs, while the bolters are going to go into the squad with the Gene Stealers and Broodlord. So we are still full with this squad. So we have 1 shot with the pistol just in range, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 of the bolt guns. So we have a single token on the Gene Stealers. This is going to be 3s to hit, taking out 1s and 2s, and then those 2. Toughness 4 against the Gene Stealers will be 4s to wound. So just 1, 2, 3, 4 on our 4-up invulnerable save. Make 3, fail 1. So that will take a Gene Stealer out of the squad. Then we're going to go to the heavy weapons. We'll start with the Magna Rail rifle. So it is going to be on a 4 to hit. No hit there. And you know what? Yeah, we are going to try to reroll that. Yeah, we'll reroll that. So a 4 to hit with the Magna Rail will be a wasted CP. Because I do still have the comms rate, on a 5-up, I gain 1 CP back. Nope, of course not. Where was that when I was trying to hit on the 4-up? And now I just have the L7 missile launcher, which is a 6 to hit. Wish that did something special, but it's not. A 5 to wound. Makes it. Alright, so good, good. Then a 5-up save for the Haruspecs. Fails. We will we'll let that go through. So that's going to be d6 damage to the Haruspecs for 3 damage. Trying to continue to take down the Haruspecs and the Gene Stealers, we go to this 5-man squad. We are going to put the heavy weapon that is left, so the plasma, what is that? Yeah, plasma beamer into the Haruspecs. We're going to put all the ion guns into the Gene Stealers, and we're also going to put the Grimnir into the Haruspecs as well. Just try to get as many of them down as possible. So we start with the ion shots on 3s. Strength 5, toughness 4, so 3s to wound as well. Alrighty, 3 wounds. Minus 2 AP, doesn't matter, so 5 up invuln. Fail 2, and then that was a cocker. Save one of those. So that is 2 damage. Takes another one of the squad off the board. There we are. Then we will have the plasma beamer. 1 shot on a 3 into the Haruspex. Not gonna do it there. And then finally the Grimnir. We'll try to really poke the bear. We will use the focused Witchfire of Ancestral Wrath again. So, 6 shots from Grimnir. Wish those 6s did something there. Then strength 6, toughness 11, 5s. Just the 1 out of 5 on save. Doesn't make it for D3 damage. Can't fail, or can't die, so D3 damage to the Haruspex. So that's going to bring him down to 2. And then on a 1, I kill my own Psyker. Ooh, thought it was a 1 there for a second. So that is going to be the Haruspex almost dead. 1 less Gene Stealer from that squad, so not bad, but still a lot to try to kill. Then this squad of the warriors, their weaponry is all going to go into the Rippers, including the Khals, excluding the Magnum Rail Rifle, which is unfortunately not going to be able to do much. So I am just going to send that into the Winged Hive Tyrant, hoping to start planking some wounds off of him. So we'll start off with all the Ion Blasters. And because the Khal is attached, I have lethal hits, so that 6 will go straight on through. And choose to kill. Choose to do wounds. Kidding me. So that Ion Blaster will do 1 damage to the Ripper that is already damaged. And the Khal has her Combi Volter, so 4 attacks on 2s. And then choose to wound. 3 6-up saves. Make 1, fail 2. So that will be a base of the Rippers gone from that squad. We'll also do a blast from the missile launcher. So D6 blast. 2 shots on 4s. 1 misses, 1 goes right on through to damage. 6-up save. Nothing there. So a full base has been damaged and killed. So now we move on to the Magnum Rail Rifle. 1 shot on 4s. Nothing there, unfortunately. For my final unit to shoot, it's going to be the Einhir, and it is unfortunately going to be a little tricky with the split fire. So 2 of them are in range of the Haruspex with their plasma guns. The rest are not. So 2 plasma guns are going to go into the Haruspex, and then every other gun in the squad, including from the champion, is going to go into the Exocrine. After all was said and done from the Einhir, unfortunately I was not able to do any damage to the Haruspex, and I chipped 1 wound off of the Exocrine in shooting. So that's going to be the shooting phase done for the Votann in turn 2. Now we go into chargers. So what we are going to do is we're going to charge the warrior squad with the Khal into the Rippers here. With a 7, we will make it with the greatest of ease. So we will move there. It's going to be risky. It's going to really not pay off if we don't kill it, but we really, really want the Haruspex dead. This warrior squad in the middle is going to charge into him with a 10. They will be successful. So I'll finagle that squad in a moment. And then the Einherjar champion gives reroll charges to his squad. So a 9-inch rerollable charge. 6 the first time. And that's not going to do it with Snake Eyes. So they are out in the open a bit. But at least they are hopefully going to attract the attention of the Exocrine, so other squads don't get shredded. In the fight phase, we have charged in with everybody, and we are going to start over here with the 10-man squad of warriors into the Haruspex. Really, really hoping that this pays off. So again, he does have the 2 markers on him, so that is going to be +1 to hit and +1 to wound. So 2 attacks from the kin melee weapon on 3s. That's going to be a 3 and a 2. So 1 hit, 1 miss. Strength 5, toughness 11. So usually 6 is 5 to wound. Not going to do it there. And then we have 9 other of the kin. So 4, 7, 9 regular close combat attacks. Feeling we are not going to do it here, but we can hope. 5s again to wound. Alright, so it is technically possible. So 5 AP 0 attacks. So 3 up saves. And he gets it perfectly. So nice that we tried, but unfortunately that is going to be the Haruspex alive. We also did the attacks into the river swarms already off camera, so they are already gone, and I've consolidated into the objective, so no worries there. Going to the first of the ongoing combats, we're going to go with the Tyranid first, just to see if he can try to get this one pesky berserker off the field. So 4 attacks on 3s, 2 hits, 3s to wound, 1 hit, or 1 wound rather, no AP, so a 6 up armor save. Doesn't make it there. And then a 5 up feel no pain with a 4 and a 6 will keep him alive on 1 wound. And I guess while we're here, we can do his 4 attacks from the concussion gauntlets on, let's see, I haven't marked him up anything, so 4s to hit. And then a 5 re-rolling thanks to Twin Link to wound. Just the 1 at -1. So a 3 up save will make it. So that is a continuing combat. And then finally, it's the Haruspex attacking back into the warriors. So 14 attacks from the Haruspex on 4s, since he is very badly wounded. So taking out all these. We did get 1 6 to go back in with sustained hits. Strength 7 into toughness 5, so 3s to wound. Take one of those out at -1 AP. So we are, I think I'm going to actually do this on the, no, I'm not going to do it on the leader since he has the better melee weapon. So -1 AP will take us to 5 ups. Ooh, that's pretty good there. So only 2 of them will fall. And then the 4 extra attacks for Shoving Claws. Just the 1 on a 2 will wound, and then a 6 up save. Nope. And 2 damage will kill 1. So luckily enough, that is actually only 3 of the warriors taken down from the Haruspex. Thought that was going to be a lot worse. Nope, and even then, what we have for 6 damage, so let's see, so just remembering that I have the 6 up Feeling Pain, so if I can get double 6s on any of these, it will be a warrior alive. Close, but no. So with that, we are done with turn 2 for the Leagues of Votann. So still in a rocky position for the Leagues. We do have the Einhir over there with the Exocrine to act as a distraction unit. So hopefully that will allow us to have to spread out the fire a little bit more. But other than that, I do think the Tyranids have a pretty good advantage, but we'll have to see how it plays out in turn 3. Turn 3 with the Tyranids, and we have unleashed the Shadow in the Warp. And unfortunately, it did not do a whole lot of good. The only squad that failed is this 1 wound Pioneer over here. So unleashed the Shadow to try to make it a little bit harder for the Votann to use stratagems to try to keep them alive, since I am going to try to throttle out all the damage that I can in this turn to kill as much as I can, but didn't really do too much in this game. In this game, since it's only once per game. Second squad of 10 Gene Stealers has arrived from Deep Strike here, aiming to make a charge into the Hearthguard over here, while the Nids are just slowly advancing around on this front. The Winged Hive Tyrant is sandwiching the squad of warriors in the middle to try and make sure that the middle objective stays mine, while the remnants of this Gene Stealer squad are moving in to advance and take down this squad. Exocrine is going to basically be on his own at this point against the Terminators, or the Terminator equivalents, but that is basically as good as I could have asked for. So with that, we are done with movement, so now we'll move on to our shooting phase. With the Exocrine, what we're actually going to do to start our shooting phase is we're going to really try to throttle out and kill this last Pioneer, just to make sure that that board corner is essentially going to be empty from the Votann for the rest of the game, and hopefully that will allow me to rack up points. So it's going to be a total of 5 shots on 3s. Ooh, alright, so luckily one of those is a precision hit. And then strength 8, so wounding on a 3. 2 wounds at -3 AP will go right on through. So that will, luckily enough, for the Nids at least, kill the last Pioneer. Essentially making sure that this objective is not going to be under Votann control. Next up will be the Zoanthrope shooting. They're going to do their Warp Blast, Witchfire, so the D3 Blast version on that squad of warriors over the home field objective. They're going to be 3d3, and they are each blast, so that is going to be 2, 4, 5. That squad is untouched, so each of their weapons will get an additional 2 hits. So that will be 5 shots there, and then 1, 2, and 3. So now we will be hitting on 3s. Take out the 1s and 2s. Put 2 of them back for the adaptive biology that I took. And then 3s to wound. Oof, not great wounding, but 3 of them go through at -2. So I'm going to try to take these on the leader with the 4th invuln. So 4th invuln, not going to make it. D3 damage on him will be 2 damage. 6 up Feeling Pain. He dies. And then 2 more on regular mooks from the squad. Make 1, fail 1 for D3 damage. and a 6-up Feel No Pain. Not going to do it. So the leader and one of the others is taken away. We'll take you. I fired 7 of the Termagants that are in range of that warrior squad. None of them were able to successfully wound, and the Tyrannifex has finally killed himself out of that close combat, so that is no longer a worry. So now we just go into the charge phase. So we're going to start off with really the only one that we can fail, this 9-inch one from these 10 Gene Stealers into the warriors with a 7. That's going to be a reroll there, and a 9 exactly. Then the Winged Prime, or Tyranid Prime, or Hive Tyrant, not Tyranid Prime, and the Gene Stealers will charge into their respective squads as well. We're going to start everything off with the 10-man Gene Stealer squad into the Hearthkin Warriors. So this is going to be 40 attacks, hitting on 2s with exploding 6s, re-rolling the wound. So here's our hit. 25 6-up saves for the Warriors. So 25 of these. Wow, and they would be 5-up saves for the Khal, but I don't think it is going to particularly matter. But we'll see how much the 6-up Feel No Pain helps. Unsurprisingly and unfortunately, the squad was no match. They did try. They made 6-up Feel No Pains in the first batch of 10 that I rolled, but that was not enough to save the squad. So that is going to be the home field objective. Just left to these 3 Thunderkin, who I'm sure will try, but I don't think they are going to do enough to stave off a full 10-man squad of Gene Stealers. Moving on from one squad of Gene Stealers to the next. Here we are with the 6 Gene Stealers and the Broodlord into the Warriors with the Grimnir. So this is going to be on 2s with exploding 6s. So that is going to be full hits and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra hits. So now we're looking for 5s, rerolling our 1s, and 6s are going to be devastating. So, 6 mortal wounds went through to the squad. 5 of those went right on through and killed the 5 warriors. One of them brought the Grimnir down to 2 wounds, who failed all 4 of her 4-up invulnerable save throws. So with that, that is another squad of warriors gone. So we have wiped them out here, and am probably about to wipe them out here. So probably the last nail in the coffin. 6 attacks from the Winged Hive Tyrant. 1 does in fact miss. Strength 9, wounding on 3s. So 4 of them at -2 AP will be 6-up saves. None of them make it. And then 4 of them will have to make 3 6-up saves. So probably not going to happen there. 4 dead there. Then 5 extra attacks from the Scything Talons. Or 4 extra attacks, sorry. I'm looking at the Tyrant Talons. We have an exploding 6, so 5 out of 4 hits. Strength 7, toughness 5, 3s to wound still. Ooh, alright, not bad. Or, well, not good either, but -2, so 6-up armor save. And then needing double 6s. Not gonna make it there. Actually, I don't even know why I'm saying double 6s. Because the metapack is no longer in that squad. So that is going to do it for the Winged Hive Tyrant's attacks. Then we would go on to the ongoing combats, which would just be 2 of the Hearthkin warriors attacking, let's say, into the big Niddly Gribbly, hitting both times, wounding on 5s, wounding once, but where is it? Can you see it? It's a 3. That is a saved armor. Save on his armor. And then let's just go with the... No, let's just do the 4 extra attacks from the Shoveling Claws on 4s. On a 2. 6 to save. We'll kill 1. And then 14. Strength 7, AP -1, 2 damage attacks. I think we'll kill 1 Hearthkin Warrior. And I think at this point it is safe to say that the Leagues of Votann have not won this day, for there's only a squad of Thunderkin in the home field ruin, and a squad of Einhir over there in the opposite corner. So even if they are able to kill their respective threats, it's still 2 objectives to at least 2, probably 3 for the next turn, or 2 for the Nids. Plus they had a 15-point lead of 15-0 for the Tyranids at the top of round 3. So we are going to call it there. Definitely a great showing from the Tyranids. And just another lesson that you really, really, really need anti-vehicle, anti-monster guns if you're going to be taking any army, or going against any army that runs even 1 or 2 big, scary, gribbly monsters. I poured everything that I had, as you guys saw, into the Haruspex, and he still lived. So maybe if I had the Land Fortress, that'd be a different story, but tried to show off some new models, some different loadouts, but those loadouts were not the ones that were going to be successful in this game. So regardless of the relatively short turn order, don't know how long the video is until I process it. Hope you folks enjoyed. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Make sure that my new 10th edition content's going out to more and more people. And then I will see all you folks on the next battlefield of the 41st millennium.